Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Okay, so this year my garden is stunning and beautiful. And I'm gonna take the kids out in the garden because yesterday was their last day of school, so now they're free to like explore the world for the summer. So we're gonna go out in the garden today. That we've kind of we've taken care of the yard part, but the garden I let go because I want to see what's gonna pop up. So we're gonna go through everything today and just sift out what's edible and what we're gonna keep that are weeds, and then identify all the different plants. And so I'm super excited. This has kind of been like a goal that I've had, because most times like it's planting season when the kids are still in school, and you don't want to over bombard their brains when they're trying to learn with other stuff. So I mean, I'll show them tidbits here and there, like we'll plant seeds on the inside of the house and whatnot. But it'll be nice to scour the entirety of the garden and say, okay, this is what that is, this is what this is what we can leave, this needs to be pulled, this needs to blah, 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 blah. And it really is starting to like bring up what the earth is actually gifting us with that Capricorn. About to like receive Pluto again. It's really bringing home the hardcore lesson of what the earth actually offers us as far as pentacles go, and how valuable it is, and how healing and medicinal it is when you can just allow things to grow and allow things to exist. A lot of people don't think that way, and that's okay. That's totally okay. That's their path. But for me, when I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, if we're facing like all this inflation, food shortage, whatever else, this is such a wise investment, because if you can get your nutrients for the majority of the weeds or whatever's growing in your backyard, plus whatever you plant, it's going to sustain your body. You're going to be able to save some money because you're not spending it on food that's taking away from your system. And this is really hitting home for me, because I already know the power of like eating nutritious packed food that's actually serving your body and not doing terrible things to it. Actually serving your body. There's a difference. People take a lot of supplements, and I'm like, check to make sure the company was being honest about what they put in that. So it's a real thing. Like if you're gonna go out and buy a supplement, if you're gonna go out and buy anything that's compacted into something, a powder, whatever it is, you need to be dang sure you know exactly what's in that and exactly what it's gonna do to your body. Because a lot of times it's not good. Let me tell you this much: whey is not it's not good. I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian. Piss off the vegans. How dare you forget our name? We remind you all the time. Okay. But it's I don't think that like it's gonna be sustainable to keep farming animals. I don't think it's gonna be sustainable. At this point, the industry has been too demonized to sustain itself, unless you are of the highest ethics, in which case there's a few of those out. There's a few of them out there, but those prices are going to skyrocket. Because nobody's thinking about this. Nobody's doing any thinking right now. We're all in reactionary mode. Is it just me? Is it just me? Nobody's thinking. Nobody's thinking anything through whatsoever. Nobody's asking any questions. Is it just me? Like, nobody's thinking anything through right now. That's like, if you get off of the crazy train for a hot second, sit down and ask some reasonable, logical questions. Not only of others, but of yourself. I think you'll come up with vastly different opinions and conclusions as to what's really happening. And this is a common theme throughout everything, like that trickle down is astronomical right now. I'm experiencing it on a personal level. Like we just need to calm down and get a few deep breaths before we start just wrecking everything. Just obliterating like any hope of logical, rational communication, logical, rational, respectful interactions. Not just with people, but with our food system, with the animals, with the nature. We still have, the big bad boogeyman up on the shelf as far as weed killer goes. And I mean, how many lawsuits have to be lost before maybe we consider pulling that off the shelf? Yeah. And then people are going to have to weed, and then they're going to be livid. They're like, I will get cancer to not have to weed. So when you think about the amount of people that are willing to think that way, to conceive of life in that direction and understand it only in that aspect, it starts to become alarming. Because I think I did a video on this where suicide is the precursor to homicide. Because when a culture deems it shameful or immoral to commit suicide, then you have to do something else with that emotion rather than process it, of course. Why would we do that? Why would we sit with that ourselves? Why can't we just put it on somebody else? So for people who like to project, you need to keep yourselves in check. When you're telling yourself that the enemy is out there somewhere, you've already lost that battle, friend. You've already lost it. And the enemy will definitely take care of themselves if you just let them self-destruct. Don't do anything mean or rude. But again, that if you just back away slowly and be like, okay, I'm going to set up some parameters and boundaries with this, maybe not purchase those products, maybe encourage other people to not get cancer. How do you put that? Could you not off yourself and everyone around you in a slow, disgusting manner? Anyway, Scorpio, stellium, 12th house. It's just what I deal with on a daily. So this is definitely going to be, because this is Aquarius surrounding this Capricorn retrograde with Pluto here. So we've already got a lot of intel, and now we are going to go back into Capricorn with that intel and start planting those seeds, or weed out what doesn't need to be there, hopefully. So this is a really transformative period, and I think I might wait until the 11th to actually start doing the constructive earth work, because that's Pluto's my major ruler, so it's really pulling me towards the 11th to really start digging in to. But right now we're definitely going to go through everything and just explore and sift and see what's there and let nature amaze us as it always does. So that way of thinking and being in the world, for me at least, brings about so much more peace and functionality and a real purpose and a real meaning and a real connection. Not just something you have in your head. You can feel it in your hands. You can see it with your eyes. You can smell it with your nose. You can taste it with your mouth. I mean, I guess if you want to do this, you can. But you're out in nature, so you're hearing the birds and the crickets and the frogs. And it really is a connection to the web that is life. And it is a vast web, and every single layer has a very specific purpose. And so if we can get our minds out of shaming each level of the fractal system, I think we're going to be a better off community, better off country, better off globally, if we understand that there's multi-fractals in this system. And that they, each have their place and their vitality here. Each one has their own function. It's people have purposes and places in the universe, and we need to respect all of them, not just one or two or three or four or whatever, parameters are set. Like, there's a vast array of loveliness that could exist in a respectful and meaningful manner. And I think that this is really going to bring that about. So, till next time, keep your flame.